Alright guys, so yesterday's video was about N54. N54 engines using oil, what weight oil to use to prevent them from using so much oil. Now today's video is a little bit different. I have a lot of N52 guys, N51, N54, so on and so on. Even N55 kind of falls as a category. They use kind of the same valve train, the same style lifters, the same Van system. So in the older engines in M54 and M52, so the single Vanos and double Vanos and E39 and E46s and E53, those engines you could use a thicker oil, it'd be no problem. Now N52 suffers with a couple problems, with burning oil and with ticking. Those are two major things. Now, there's a few ways you could bat that without taking it apart. Unfortunately, most of the time, if you have ticking problems, different oil is not going to have any correlation on it. You know, ticking on N52 is usually due to the lifters. If you have a 06 or 07 especially, that was a problem on some makes, you know, some year ranges in 06 and 07, some models, they had issues with that. So how do you fix that? Well, the ticking usually is to do with the cam ledge seals gone, if you don't have the updated lifters, and so on and so on. In my case of my E90, we could have ran low on oil. Well, we had a wonky air or oil filter in it that was collapsed. If you notice in the past videos, I got it in. I sold the car without the problem. I replaced the exhaust camshaft ledge box, cam, and lifters to the updated version. The car was not ticking when I had it. I sold it shortly to somebody else and I bought it back about a year later. He didn't put many miles on it, but I got it back with all these odd issues. We were having hard brake pedal. We were having the car just die and not want to restart. Phantom Vanos code, and the ticking's back. Kind of everything all in one go. Well, after further inspection, we had a Chinese oil filter that twisted and was blocking off oil flow to the engine. So, as you know, these engines are very sensitive as far as oil goes. They have the Vanos solenoids. They have screens that feed the Vanos solenoids. The oil has to go through the screen. So if you run too thick of oil, it doesn't want to flow right. The lifters in these are very tiny compared to the big cam buttons. So it takes a thinner weight oil. So you cannot just go put thick oil in this car and fix it. Now, these engines recommend 5W30. A lot of guys trying to run 0W20. Same way as the N54, the older engines. Everybody's always trying to put 0W20, 0W30 in them. If you do that and it's ticking, it's going to be worse. If you're having Vanos codes because the cam ledge seals are totally wore out, it's going to make it worse, right? And my E90 uses probably the appropriate amount of oil. And that's something else. Before it never used oil, but now it does, right? So we definitely had some wear going on in there. So it's time to add to the oil just the other day. I added oil to it. And we're having such a rough start. I thought, well, we have 1060 sitting here for the M5. We don't really have anything to lose with this car. Let's add a quart of 1060 to it. Let's just see how the Vanos system reacts. If it grenades the engine, oh well, we'll just swap it out, right? Who cares? I don't think it's going to grenade the engine. But we put it in there. One thing I did notice, and this is only 1 quart out of the 7 that's in it, the Vanos would advance a lot better. And I guess what it's doing is essentially taking up the slack in the ledge seals and temporarily fixing that. Would I put all 10W60 or 10W40 in it? I don't think so. I think it's going to make it tick worse in the long run if you did that. So, in theory, to temporarily smooth over the ledge seals, you could put an additive, a Lucas additive in it. However, that's not guaranteed. The moral of this story is these engines are not made to use a thicker oil, and it very well might cause some advanced problems down the road by using that. If you're ticking on this engine, if you're having Vanos codes, if you think your ledge seals are gone, they probably are. And at that point in time, you can replace the exhaust cam, but not the intake cam. You need a different head or a different engine, unfortunately. However, if that does happen to you, you do have to do that. Make sure to get a late 2008 or newer engine because they don't have any of that problem. So that's the fix for it. Updated lifters, updated cam. The cam ledge seals themselves are not metal. They're actually plastic or like a nylon. And they don't have this issue of gouging up everything and wearing out. Now, also, if you have a car that's had a Chinese oil filter in it, like we just had on this one, that's probably going to cause some irreversible damage. Like ordinarily, if you had that in a regular car, it would spin a rod bearing. But this wasn't totally cut off, the oil flow, but it was enough to starve the top end, no doubt. So there is that. So what oil should you use in this car? 5W30. That's the short answer of it. Any thinner could cause damage, any thicker could cause issues. But if you have an engine that's already toasted, there you go. Try an additive. Try a quart of a little thicker oil. Maybe it'll get you by until you have time to take it apart. I don't know. It seemed to work on mine pretty good. But there again, we still have random Vanos codes. There you are. Hopefully this video helped. This is a very, very, very common question on these engines. N54 guys, you can replace both cams. You don't have the problem. So if you have ticking, you could fix it no matter what without removing the cylinder head or the whole engine. Like no matter what, you can fix that problem. May not be cheap, but at least you can do it. That's going to be it, guys. Thanks for watching. See you later. Have a good day.